Mr. Eggplant presents.
Hey guys, Tyler here, and thanks for checking out this video. And I'm here finally in the 9.2 PTR for Shadowlands, and we are going to be talking really quick today about the 2 and 4 set for the tier gear that we get in the Sepulture of the First Ones, which is of course the newest raid that will be dropping in 9.2 someday. Anyway, so last tier of the expansion, we're finally getting our tier sets back. It is, of course, a 5-piece set like most of the tier sets, and it is the Godstalker set. That is the name of the Hunter set. So, the 2 and 4 set. The 2 set reads, Trick Shots now increase the damage of the affected shot by 30%. Okay. And the 4 set is, Spending 40 focus grants you 1 charge of Trick Shots. So, of course, Trick Shots is what you get when you hit 3 or more targets with multi-shot. So you basically, no such thing as 2 target cleave, we have to have 3. They've been very adamant about keeping that in the game over the last, 2 expansions now. So I think, unfortunately, we are stuck with it. But this is actually a really good tier set, and a really good 2 and 4 set bonus. It doesn't look like it on the surface, but if you think about it, when I first saw these, Marksman Hunter is really good at AOE and not so good at single target. I shouldn't say not, well, we are not so good in comparison to other specs. Particularly, you have to build, either AOE or you have to build single target. So, this set, when I first saw it, I'm like, wow, this is only good for AOE, not good for single target at all, which is wrong. So, if you read that again, Trick Shots now increases the damage of affected shot by 30%. Doesn't mean, it just has to use the Trick Shot. So, let's say, for example, we are fighting the Jailer, and it's a single target fight. So, every time I spend 40 focus, thanks to my 4 set bonus, I get 1 charge of Trick Shots, which Trick Shots, it hits your target and sprays up to 5 additional targets for, I believe it's 55% of your damage that the first hit made. But the affected shot by 30%, which also includes that initial shot. So that single target shot will still do 30% more damage. And the 2 shots that are affected by that are, of course, a rapid fire. It can bounce, and so can aim shot. So you're essentially increasing the damage of our 2 biggest abilities by 30%, and it's pretty much passive. It's just doing your rotation, because honestly, aim shot 35 focus, you're almost there already. That will give you the ability to, of course, not need to cast a multi-shot whenever you have the buff, which I will have a macro, and I'll have a WeakAuras up on my screen whenever I'm actually playing and not in the PTR, and I'll put the information down below if you want to check that out. That will show when I have Trick Shots. So basically, I can just forego using multi-shot sometime in an AoE point of view in favor of just going straight to the aim shot or straight to the rapid fire, which will then bounce. And even if it's single target, it still does that 30% increased damage. And then after you do that, that saves us that 20 focus that we would have spent on the multi-shot beforehand to get the aim shot out, which will now be empowered thanks to us casting that aim shot, which, of course, assuming it was an aim shot and not a rapid fire, that arcane shot or that multi-shot will, of course, be empowered thanks to precise shots. So we're basically taking an ability that was allowing us to actually cleave and doing, base percent damage. We're saving that focus, so we don't have to waste the focus on something that's going to do 100% damage. Instead, we go right to streamlining, no pun intended, to use your aim shot, which will then give you those precise shot procs, so that same 20 focus will do an additional 75% more damage. And if it's a multi-shot, that's a lot more damage on an unlimited number of targets, but goes down after 8 targets, thanks to the AoE cap removal on a few of our abilities. Or for Arcane Shot, it's just going to do more damage on that single target enemy. And all of this is completely passive. Forget, Covenant for a second, it doesn't matter. It's completely passive. It doesn't change our playstyle at all. And then it does help single target, and it does help AoE. So I'm currently been checking out Torghast on a Necro Lord Marksman Hunter and have been loving the crap out of it. Because of course they did add, really quick, I did have a video on this previously, be sure and check that out if you want to know a little bit more about it. But long story short, the new legendary that takes approximately 2 weeks to unlock once 9.2 does finally drop, will give you the ability to have another legendary, which is this belt here. And the belt takes the legendary effect of whatever covenant that you're in. So for me right now, it's giving me a bag of munitions. We drop down here really quick to check out the other powers because I can't remember their names. If you're Night Fae, you get Elder Antlers. If you're Venthyr, you get Razor Fragments. And if you are Kyrian, you get Pact of the Soul Stalkers. So in an AOE situation, which is what I've been really practicing, you'll be able to run with your Surging Shots legendary. If you are a single target minded person, you'll still probably run with your Serpent Stalker's Trickery band, because that's still just single target damage. All of these legendaries, all of the 2 and 4 set, don't change your rotation at all. I guess other than just dropping the multi-shot when you don't need it to get the spray. But it doesn't affect anything, so that allows you to just do more damage without having to do anything, which you're already used to your rotation, you're already used to your cooldowns, whether you be Night Fae, Kyrian, or Necrolord. Those will be the 3 that are most played. But it's just going to just give us more damage, and I'm really enjoying Necrolord just because I already said it from the very beginning of the expansion. It is the spec where if you just want to enjoy Marksman Hunter, that's the spec for you, because Death Chakram just gives you more focus back. It's a little bit more forgiving. It is, of course, on a 45-second cooldown, but it now got a buff in, I think it was 9.1.5, that you increase the damage that the enemy takes if they're hit by it or its bounce by 10%. So you're just stacking up all these percentage increased damage. And if you're, of course, running with the belt, then you have these explosive shots that are just exploding in their face and hitting up to 2 targets, which I'm assuming would also hit the targets around them for some massive amount of damage, both single target and AOE. I'll be running with this exact build that I have now in PvP. Has some great crit, great haste, great mastery, not a lot of versatility, so maybe I need to work on that. But I'm seeing a lot of hunters will be shifting. I'm sorry for people who went Kyrian, but the Kyrian legendary is not very good, and you're going to see a lot of people leaving Kyrian, myself included. So I most likely will be playing Night Fae and Necrolord. Not most likely. I'll be going back and forth between the two, and since we don't have to worry about renown levels anymore and we can freely switch, we'll see a lot more people trying out the lower played specs of Venthyr and Necrolord, and we're going to see a lot of people playing Necrolord. I will be doing that for Mythic Plus. I've already had some people that do higher level keys than myself. I've been talking on some of my previous videos and have been sharing some great information. And I did do 1 Mythic Plus here in the PTR. I don't really do much dungeon-wise in PTR, but I ended up doing a plus 12 Halls of Atonement. And on that first pull, where you go in, you lust, you pull that first pack in the middle, both packs on the right, and then the Stoneborn. We did not have a Venthyr. We thought we did. We ended up like bursting like 250k. It was insanity. And then for the entire dungeon, I ended up doing just under 13, so like 12.8 or 12.9k, which is a big increase for me. So granted, I did have higher level items. My item level did go up by about 6, and then of course I did have the 2 and 4 set bonus, but it felt so good. I didn't have to worry about throwing down a blue circle every 2 minutes and making sure that enemies stay in it, or that only 5 enemies stayed in it, or 4 enemies stayed in. That way I could use my legendary from Night Fae. It was really fun. It was an enjoyable experience. And that's really what I want to talk about today. So the 2 and 4 set bonus looks like it's all AOE, but man, there is some implications for some big increased damage for single target. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Consider subscribing if you haven't already, and be sure and follow me over at Twitch at twitch.tv/Mr. Eggplant. I've been doing dual streams now, as you guys have probably got some of the notifications for it. I will be doing more Raid and more World of Warcraft stuff once stuff's going on in game. I don't have really anything other than some pet battle videos some pet taming videos for hunters, and then PvP videos that will be out, since my guild is no longer raiding, of course, and they're not doing anything as for Mythic Plus, at least not right now. Maybe when people need their Keystone Master, but for now, everybody's been kind of taking a break, so I've just been basically making money and working on some random videos and kind of, you know, playing some other games, including WoW Classic. So I will have more videos out. I'll be streaming my raids twice a week once that does go live, and then we'll have a plethora of other videos, including 4 guides, one for every covenant for marksman hunters once 9.2 drops. So thank you guys for watching. Leave me your feedback down below, and I'll see you in the next video.